Hey students, this is a short video that I'd like to show you a website called EdTrust. And when you go to EdTrust, this is by Katie Haycock. She is the uh, person that's in charge of this website, and she's really good and talks about achievement gaps. A lot of people don't understand what achievement gaps are, and I want to show you what they are. And let's look at Georgia in particular. If you go over here to the right hand side, you can look right here underneath results for state reports and things like that. She's got all kinds of information at this website, but I'm just mostly interested in showing you this right here. But there's all kinds of information here that you might want to look for in regard to resources and things about how we stack up with other nations and things like that and stuff. So I want to show you this website real quick. This is what I want to look at. You just go to EdWatch and then you scroll down. Then you want to know, how does your state compete with other states around the nation, and you can look at the latest information she has right now. I think it looks like 2010 or 11. I'm not really sure which one it is, but it might be later. But they've got all the states listed here on the left. Let's open up Georgia, look at it for a second. When it pops up, then you can look at some things about who attends public schools. She gives you the demographics, first of all, who they are, how many African Americans, white students, Latinos, Caucasian, not the other, students with disability, low income students, what percentage are English language learners. And then she even talks to you a little bit about how we do with the national assessment called the NAEP test. And in the fourth grade, we're doing okay. 88% do all right when it comes to the CRCT, but when it comes to a national test, we're only scoring about 32% on a national assessment test in Georgia. So we've got some problems in the fourth grade. If you look at this graph here, you can see below basic for the students overall, low-income students, high-income students. She breaks it down between white, African-American, Latinos. Over here, English and speakers and non-English speakers, and then disability students are here. You can look at the diagram yourself and see that. Now here's where we rank when it comes to comparing ourselves with other states. This is Maine, New Jersey, Maryland, New Hampshire, and all the way down to Arkansas being the lowest state. New Mexico is pretty low as well. Here's the United States. We're a little bit above United States, but overall, if you consider that the average. Now that's in the fourth grade. Just keep that in mind. That's fourth grade in the area of reading. All right, how do we do in the area of math and reading from the National Association? The Assessment of Educational Progress. Here we are above, somewhere in the top, I'd say 70 percentile or 60 percentile. She's got some other information here about which states are doing the best. The most improving states are Alabama. Alabama's doing a lot of great work there. But let's look at some other things in 8th grade. She goes into a higher level, which is 8th grade. We're not doing very good in 8th grade. 28% from 32 to 28%, and then you'll see some other information here along 8th grade in mathematics, how we're doing there. Students with disabilities aren't doing very well, which can be expected. English language learners are not doing very well in 8th grade math either. Here's how we do in comparing on the 8th grade math for the rest of us and the rest of the nation. Look how far below we are the rest of the states in Georgia. That's Georgia, that's the United States. We're not doing too very good. In the area of mathematics on the National Assessment of Educational Progress for African American students, we're a little bit higher than most African American students in the United States, but still below others. But let's look at some gaps here. These are some gaps that you might see for students graduating from high school. Notice the number of the gap is 73% and 61% for African Americans and 57%. So notice the gaps right here, that you're seeing a discrepancy between these two groups of three groups of students. And that's what they call the achievement gap. And we're trying, and everyone's trying to get rid of that gap and make bring these groups of students up to where they need to be so that we can all be a little bit higher. Here's some more gaps when it comes to reading scores or on the SAT scores. Notice the different gaps in between the bar graphs. And then you'll see we have a lot of students going to college in Georgia, which is good, but how many are graduating from college? Only 55% of white students, 53% are graduating from with a four-year degree. When they start their freshman year, only 53% finish. In two-year colleges, it's about even. How do we do when it comes to adults with associate degrees? We don't have very many. How do we do with percent of adults with associate degrees or higher in Georgia compared with other developed nations? Well, that's okay, but now you're looking at international information, so that's a little bit different there. Now, if you go back to the Katie Haycock's website, you will find some information regarding other things right here on resources, like, for instance, she has presentations. This is what I really like a lot. This is called presentations that you can go to, and she can show you some things that she's actually gone around to some schools and some states, and she's talked to them about their scores. But you can actually download this PowerPoint. Let's just look at Texas for a second, and you can open up this PowerPoint, and when you open it up, it takes a couple of seconds to upload. Right here it's showing me that it's just taking a minute to upload. When it does, we'll look at some things where she will actually go into more information regarding international comparisons with us and other nations. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Here's how much, let's see if I can make this larger. Here's one that shows the, instead of being the most equal, the U.S. has the third highest income among all developed nations. We have a very high income, it seems like. Oh, high income inequality, excuse me. That's what that means. Income inequality. Now she has some intergenerational mobility, showing how changes and lowest rates of intergenerational mobility. She's saying that anyone that has students of color, their median wealth has gone down. So there's also gaps not only in achievement, but actually gaps in regarding income. And now these are this is the chart that was in your book, that those who have the higher degrees earn more. And we already know that. So our goal is how can we get these students in our educational classrooms to be more competitive in regard to academics and getting into the colleges and staying there. And that's what Bill Gates and his foundation are trying to determine and trying to create are more opportunities. I think Columbus State has actually started Degree in 3, which is geared toward more minorities and trying to get them into college and helping them complete college. So you can look at a lot of information. Here's how the people going to college. Here's some other stuff about, there you see the gaps again. You can read that yourself. This is income groups going to college. And then she talks about some other things too. So there's about 100 slides here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I just wanted to show you where some really good information is in regard to data on achievement and how we rank among other nations.